Treatments can help. If you have relatives or friends who have had cancer, you may have noticed during their treatment that they were tired and maybe lost their hair. That's because they were receiving chemotherapy as cancer treatment. While new cancer therapies are being actively developed, including personalized cancer drugs, there are three main types of cancer treatments in use today: chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and surgery. Chemotherapy is made up of very strong drugs that kill cancer cells. More than 100 chemotherapy drugs are commonly used today. Different types of chemotherapy are utilized depending on what type of cancer a patient has and how advanced it is. All chemotherapy targets kills all cells that are fast growing, even those that are not cancerous, like new hair cells, which is why people in chemotherapy often lose their hair. Hair loss isn't the only side effect, as chemotherapy often makes patients feel awful, but it is the most well-known one. You may have noticed people who've gone bald because of chemotherapy. Maybe they decided to wear a bandana or a wig. You may have also seen people who've shaved their heads to show support for loved ones and friends getting chemotherapy. My grandmother Ginger's hair thinned, though never completely fell out, when she was being treated for breast cancer. She had a wonderful wig, but didn't love to wear it. Knowing she could wear it for special occasions and when she wanted to, I think made her feel better about the days she chose not to wear it. The wig freed her to make her own choices. Every cancer patient should have that same freedom, to choose to wear a beautiful wig or not, whether their hair has thinned or fallen out, whether they've cut their hair short or shaved their head entirely. There are terrific organizations that provide hair pieces to kids with cancer and other diseases who have lost their hair because of the disease or the treatment, and who are not able to afford them on their own. Locks of Love is probably the biggest. You can nominate anyone under 21 who needs a hairpiece and can't afford one to receive a free, custom-made one. They receive a new hairpiece every other year until they are 21 years old. You can also donate your hair to be used in hairpieces and encourage your family and friends to donate hair. Almost any hair, 10 inches or longer, and almost any color except gray, whether it's curly or straight, is welcome. To find out more, please visit locksoflove.org. While writing this book, I read a story that really struck me, in the best, most positive sense. When he was 6 years old, Christian from Florida decided to grow his hair out to 10 inches long and donate it to children with hair loss so they could make wigs for kids who had lost their hair. He decided to do this after watching a commercial for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, a hospital that focuses on researching and treating childhood cancers, and finding out more about its work. Christian was bullied for having long hair because it wasn't considered very boyish. He wasn't deterred. After 2 years, Christian reached his goal of 10 inches. He had so much hair, he could donate a total of 40 inches, because he was able to put his hair into 4 10-inch ponytails before cutting it, to children with hair loss. That's amazing. To find out how you could do the same, please visit childrenwithhairloss.us. I've never donated hair, but it's on my bucket list of things to do. Radiation therapy is another cancer treatment, and it uses super high energy particles or particle waves like X-rays to kill cancer cells. If you've had an X ray, radiation therapy is similar but on a much more massive scale. Think of a big lake versus a local pool. Unlike chemotherapy, radiation targets only where the cancer lives and not cells throughout the entire body. That's why some people say radiation is a smarter treatment for certain cancers than chemotherapy is. There also tend to be fewer side effects associated with radiation than chemotherapy. Radiation may work better against some cancers, like certain lung cancers, but less so against others. Chemotherapy is better at treating and beating other cancers, which is why it's still used. Sometimes, chemotherapy and radiation are used together. These are all decisions that patients, families, and doctors make together to find the best treatment for each patient. The American Cancer Society has a website with ideas and tips on how to support friends or siblings with cancer, whether they're in the hospital getting treatment or going to school while fighting or recovering from cancer. As scary as it might be for you, for me, or for anyone to see a family member or friend with cancer, it's much scarier for our family or friends who are cancer patients. We can show our support and love by calling, visiting, helping make the transition back to school easier, bringing Halloween or Valentine's Day or other holidays and birthdays into the hospital, provided the doctors and nurses say that's okay, and doing anything else we think might help. You can find out more at cancer.org. Someone who's thought of a creative way to help support kids with cancer is Indiana native Kendra. When she was 10 years old, Kendra was diagnosed with a childhood cancer called neuroblastoma. She underwent 2 years of treatment, including chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, and other therapies. Thankfully, Kendra's cancer has been beaten back for now, and she decided to do something to help other kids undergoing cancer treatment. So she created Kendra's Call for Comfort, which makes care packages for kids who aren't yet as far along as she is in their fight against cancer. The 200, and counting, care packages have games, crafts, gift cards, and clothes that are customized to each kid who receives one. Kendra's already raised over $50,000 for the project, and she's just getting started. To find out more about Kendra's Call for Comfort and what you can do to help, please visit kendrascallforcomfort.org. When I was in college at Stanford, I volunteered for a couple of years at the Lucille Packard Children's Hospital. I worked in the art therapy room with kids who are patients, many who are cancer patients. We drew together, did finger painting, made glitter paint pictures. I helped organize a couple of birthday parties and sometimes helped kids with their homework. The best moments were when the kids I got to know forgot they were patients and remembered they were kids first, and the hugs I sometimes got. Although you have to be 18 to volunteer at most hospitals, some hospitals allow people to start at 16. But, provided their doctors say it's okay, you can visit your friends or family in the hospital and help brighten their days with art, treats, and hugs, or one of Kendra's care packages. You can do the same for anyone you know who's in the hospital for whatever reason. Even with chemotherapy and radiation, most people who have cancer will have surgery at some point to treat or remove all or parts of a tumor. Surgery is also used to diagnose whether someone has cancer, by removing a piece of body tissue suspected to have cancerous cells, a process known as a biopsy. Cells from the removed tissue are examined under a microscope to see whether or not they're cancerous. Scientists are currently working on blood tests that could be used for cancer diagnoses. Diagnosis can be scary too, and we can all support family and friends who are worried about whether they have cancer until they know for sure one way or the other.